Is this really Pangong Lake? A place so surreal, it feels like another world. But reaching here is no easy ride. From Leh to Pangong, every mile is a test of endurance, adventure, and pure thrill. At 17,688 feet, the mighty Chang La Pass stands in our way, one of the highest motorable passes in the world. And then, after miles of rough roads, river crossings, and high-altitude challenges, we finally see it, the jewel of Ladakh. This is more than just a destination. This is why we ride. Are you ready for the journey? Let's ride. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Every ride has its moments, the thrill, the struggle, and the unexpected challenges. Today, we take on one of Ladakh's most breathtaking routes, Leh to Pangong Lake. But this ride was anything but ordinary. The journey started smooth, perfect weather, stunning landscapes, and endless open roads. Now we take on one of the highest and most challenging roads in Ladakh, Chang La Pass, standing at a staggering 17,688 feet. A ride through extreme altitudes, biting cold, and some of the most unpredictable roads in the Himalayas. The journey starts easy, long stretches of tarmac winding through the valleys, giving us a false sense of comfort. But in Ladakh, the real adventure begins when the roads end. As we climb higher, the air gets thinner, the temperatures drop, and the wind howls through the valleys. Every twist and turn demands focus, every mile pushing both man and machine to their limits. The higher we go, the tougher it gets. Loose gravel and freezing winds turn this into a battle of endurance. But this is what we came for, the thrill, the challenge, the raw adventure of riding in the Himalayas. And then, we made it. Chang La Pass, one of the highest motorable passes in the world. The air is thin, the cold bites through our gear. But standing here, at 17,688 feet, looking over these mighty mountains, it's all worth it. A ride like this reminds us, it's not just about reaching the top, it's about the journey, the struggles, and the stories we create along the way. And this is what makes Ladakh unforgettable. But the road had one more challenge for us. My bike's spark plug failed right here, in the freezing winds of Changla. At this altitude, with oxygen levels low and the cold biting into our hands, even a small mechanical issue feels like a big problem. Luckily, we found a mechanic at Chang La Pass who generously fixed my bike without charging anything. That's the spirit of the people here, kind, helpful, and always ready to assist. This is exactly why every rider dreams of a bike trip to Ladakh. A few adjustments, some patience, and soon my engine roared back to life. And here, things took a turn. Altitude sickness, AMS, acute mountain sickness. The thin air, freezing temperatures, and lack of oxygen started taking a toll on one of my friend. At these heights, even the toughest riders can struggle. AMS hits fast, and when it does, you have to act quickly. We took a break, gave him time to recover, and reminded ourselves, this isn't just about the ride, it's about the brotherhood. But the adventure was far from over. Chang La tested us with ragged roads, unpredictable terrain, and extreme weather. But this is what makes the ride legendary. A ride through Ladakh is more than just roads and destinations. It's about the stops, the people, and the stories along the way. Next, as we head towards Shooting Point and Bro Café, Café Himank, a perfect pit stop on these unforgiving roads. But before that, we ride through some of the most mesmerizing landscapes Ladakh has to offer. The road ahead is a biker's paradise, twisting curves, crisp mountain air, and towering snow-clad peaks watching over us. The thrill of riding here is unmatched. At this altitude, everything feels surreal. The silence of the mountains, the endless open road, and the crisp air. It's moments like these that remind us why we ride. After cruising through the stunning landscapes of Ladakh, we reached our next stop, the famous Shooting Point. This spot has been a backdrop for several Bollywood movies. And standing here, you can see why. Towering mountains, open roads, and a view that looks straight out of a film. A perfect place to pause and soak in the beauty of Ladakh. But what's a road trip without some fun? One song, one beat, and this stop turned into a dance floor. No plans, no worries, just pure, unfiltered happiness. These are the moments that make a trip unforgettable. It's not just about the places we see, but the memories we create. And this is one for the books. With our spirits recharged and hearts full, we hit the road again. The next stretch, a ride through Ladakh's rugged beauty, leading us to one of the most breathtaking sights of this journey, Pangong Lake. The ride from here is nothing short of magical. Endless barren landscapes, mighty mountains rising on both sides, and the silence of the Himalayas keeping us company. The kind of road every rider dreams of. But Ladakh never lets you forget. Adventure comes at a cost. The roads are unpredictable, the terrain keeps changing, and every mile demands focus. One moment, it's smooth tarmac. The next, it's nothing but gravel and dust. The higher we climb, the tougher it gets. Cold winds, thinning air, and an endless road ahead. But the promise of what's coming keeps us going. And then, after miles of dust, rocks, and endless climbs, there it is, the first magical view of Pangong Lake. It's hard to put this moment into words. The vast, blue water stretching between the mountains, after a long, tough ride, this view makes everything worth it. Riding through Ladakh is an adventure, but riding beside Pangong Lake, that's something else. The road hugs the shoreline, the wind carries the chill of the lake, and every turn opens up a view more breathtaking than the last. The roads here aren't easy. Loose gravel, unpredictable winds, and patches of sand make every mile a challenge. But the view, it makes it all worth it. This ride wasn't just about reaching Pangong. It was about pushing limits, standing by each other, and creating memories that last a lifetime. Pangong isn't just a lake, it's a masterpiece of nature. The blue stretches beyond what the eyes can see, shifting shades as the sun moves across the sky. Every second here feels unreal. Sometimes, on a ride like this, you don't need words. You just stop, breathe, and let the moment sink in. As the sun dipped behind the peaks, it was time to call it a day. No hotels, no cities, just nature, our bikes, and the stillness of the mountains. A day well spent, a ride well lived. And today's ride was more than just an adventure. It was a lesson in endurance, resilience, and the unpredictability of high-altitude travel. We witnessed how quickly AMS can drain you, and the importance of being prepared. A failed spark plug at 17,000 feet tested us. But the kindness of the locals reminded us why Ladakh is special. The roads are tough, but the people make the journey unforgettable. Some rides challenge you, others reward you. Today, we experienced both. And the journey isn't over yet. Many more miles, challenges, and adventures still await. If you're loving this adventures and ride, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe now. The journey isn't over yet. Stay tuned.